Hello there, Dave. How are you doing
Hello
today?
there, Dave. It's another Crossroads. Wow, I
It's
bet
another day.
everybody's been waiting for this.
So am I. So am I. This is David Friedman and my co-host Dave Berkus for TCA Crossroads, where entrepreneurs and investors meet. We also talk about things in the ecosystem. And I'm very excited to have a couple of guests today. And but there's some new information that has come out that may be beneficial to some people in the investing community.
So, David, I understand that came from the one big beautiful bill, and it may affect us as investors. So go right ahead.
Yeah, it could. It's Trump has decided to enable and allow. I think it has to still go through some formal processes, but enable private equity type deals, potentially angel deals, to be part of a 401k. Now, good news, bad news. You have to look at the tax advisor because you don't want to lose your 1202 exemption for really big winners. So, but it's really good news for a lot of people who can't cap out their 401k and want to be investors at the same time, particularly those in crowdfunding.
So, speaking of 1202, the one big beautiful bill also made 50% on 3-year holding period, 75% on 4-year, and then full 100% no tax on 5-year. So that's a big change, as well as increasing the amounts from 10 million maximum to 15, and a few other things as well. So there are some things to look at.
So at this time, I'm pleased to announce that we have Ashish Saboo, who's the CEO, founder of Startup Steroid. So I'm going to bring him on. Well, hi, Ashish. How are you today?
I'm great, David and Dave. Nice to be on this Crossroads podcast. And thank you for bearing with me with some of these internet troubles I've been having. Hopefully this time it will work.
We are all in Southern California, and so you could just open the door and shout.
I guess. I mean, that would be better. We are all here, I think, in Orange County. Dave, do you live in Orange County too?
No, I'm about an hour and a half's drive away, which means 5 miles in Orange County terminology.
That is true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I get to see David often in TCAOC meetings and other investor events, but would love to catch up with you sometime, Dave, as well.
You see David often, and I apologize for that.
Yeah, well, you should apologize. I mean, you want to be on my side this time. I mean, I'm trying to push Ashish to develop more and better, features for TCA since we use the Startup Steroid platform. And I'm just going to put this out there on the table because we have him as a guest on TCA Crossroads, because we'll give him coverage. My expectation is we get a discount and faster service on the features we want. Just suggesting it.
Oh, no, David. Now that is classified as a bribe.
I knew there was a catch when I accepted this invitation to be on the podcast. I should have read the fine print.
Because I am secretly with the federal government, David, you have to watch out what you say in front of me.
Yeah, remember, I used to work for the feds at one time, way back when. But let's go back to Ashish and not talk about our sordid past, either one of us. But Ashish, why don't you tell us about your background in Startup Steroid, and then we'd like to talk about how these deal platforms in general can help the entrepreneur, help the investor, and where things are going in the future, okay? So why don't you kick it off?
Thank you, David. So as you mentioned, I'm the co-founder and CEO of Startup Steroid. This is basically an end-to-end integrated deal flow platform. It helps investor groups basically manage their workflow around their investing decisions for early stage startups. So basically, it provides you the ability to have a custom application form so that the founder can not only provide a pitch deck, but much more comprehensive profile. Tell you really their stories, which is probably not conveyed just by a spreadsheet or a pitch deck. So give you the entire profile, let the investors and maybe your screening team go through these profiles, try to select which companies you should move to the next stage for pitching, for screening, so on and so forth, and ultimately go through your due diligence to make an investment decision. So the platform provides you abilities like workflow-driven, automation, email capability, collaboration capabilities, then also a deal room. So you have everything in one nice place stored on the cloud, so you can access it anywhere, anytime. even 5 years later, if you rejected a deal and it became a unicorn, you can go back and say, hey, we voted and we decided not to invest in it. So at least you have a tracking of what happened. Hopefully it doesn't happen too often and we are able to invest in those, but at least there is a tracking. So that's really the deal flow platform. It came from my own experience as an angel investor. Really, I'm part of a big group called the Indus Entrepreneurs TIE, which is world's largest non-profit organization for entrepreneurs. We are in 13 countries, about 60 chapters. And it's kind of similar to TCA in a sense that you also have networks where you have different groups working together. Your focus is mostly on investing. TIE's focus is a little bit more broader. So it's one of the pillars is investing, but other pillars are, mentoring, networking, and other things as well. So we do a lot of activities around general business, like for example, in a couple of weeks, we'll have an event on the OBBA, the One Big Beautiful Bill. And it's about, all the new things which Trump is doing, one of which is very relevant to investors about this, QSBS and 401 kind of exemptions and tax rebates for investors. So with that, when we started doing investments with TIE, it seemed like there wasn't a good enough platform. We are using spreadsheets, we are using Dropbox, we are using Google Drive. It was becoming very difficult to track and manage these deals. And we are jokingly saying to each other, here we are investing in, all the latest and greatest companies, and we are using archaic, 20th century tools. There is something wrong with this approach. So me and my co-founder, Anshuman Sinha and Shankar Ram, we just sat together and said, let's create something which will help us do our job better and make better investment decisions. And out came Startup Steroid. So that's what the whole journey has been, and it has been very rewarding to kind of see it evolve and being adopted by TIE worldwide. And then you, obviously, David, have been really a great support and help in getting some of the latest features implemented. But with TCA's adoption, now we have about 60 different angel groups using it worldwide, and we are increasing the adoption as we speak. So thank you.
Did you check Gust and PropelX and all the rest of them as you did this so that you knew that you had something more to offer?
Definitely. So actually, interesting you say the name Gust, because actually a couple of TIE chapters were using Gust, and Gust wasn't really developing the software further at that point of time. It wasn't very workflow driven. It was more of, I would say, a filing cabinet per se, instead of really being able to help move the deals along. So it was good in that sense. PropelX was a little different in the sense that PropelX wasn't more of a deal flow, but it was on the syndication and investing side.
Yes.
When we decided to do this, we said we want one integrated platform which not only gives us the deal flow, but also helps us do the syndication or SPVs and also fund management with one login. So that was our beginning of the platform. And I'm happy to say that we are the only platform even right now which does the whole management of your deal flow end to end, right from getting a deal, screening it, investing into it, and then tracking the portfolio later on with one login.
So you figured out product market fit and process market fit.
Yeah, no, thanks, Dave, for that. I think so, because we saw a gap, and it came from our own pain as angel investors. We are like, okay, we are not able to manage it. We are, doing these spreadsheets here. Then we are going, at that time, there was another company called Assure, where we did some SPV. So we are like, oh, we are going here to do this. We are going there. It was just, not very systematic, I would say. So we are like, okay, let's put it together. My background, I'm an industrial engineer, so I have done, large-scale ERP implementations like BAN and SAP and Oracle in multiple corporations. So I'm kind of a process guy. I'm not a software engineer, so I don't know how to code, but I think I have enough experience doing through these implementation to take a process and kind of give a requirement to our software team, saying, hey, this is my business logic. Let's put it together and help the investor community.
Well, let me ask the following. Let's talk about first of how this benefits, continue on that thread, how this benefits the investor. Why would an investor be interested in the Deal platform? depending on what that investor really wants, be it managing his total portfolio or looking at deals or through an angel group. So there are a couple of different ways it can be done. So tell me about that. How does it help us? And how do deal management platforms in general help people like that?
Yeah, so that's an excellent question. And again, as I said, it came from our own pain point. So when we started doing deals, it was like, okay, a deal is coming through an email. So we are like, okay, let's get all these pitch decks, put it in a Google Drive, then start tracking them on a spreadsheet. Now, how do we communicate? So we are emailing them from my email or a central email. Where is the communication going? Okay, what is the deal stage? So everything was kind of in these silos, and it wasn't very visible. It was kind of an opaque process, for lack of better words. So we said, we are in cloud environment now. Why can't we put together kind of a dashboard, kind of a workflow driven system, which can help investors kind of visualize where each deal is? So I can now basically look at the deal flow funnel and exactly see, okay, out of these 50 companies for this month, 10 are in pre-screening, 4 are in pitching, 2 are in due diligence, for 1 the investment is open. It helps the investor just make better decisions. Also, just during this whole process, now you have access to not only the pitch deck, as I said earlier, but also their whole detailed profile. So you can look at their executive summary, you can even look at their video, you can look at their current status, you can click on the LinkedIn profile of the the founder, and look at what the founder has done, get the relevance. So I think the platform just makes it easier. The life of the investor becomes a lot easier because they want to invest in the companies after looking at the holistic picture, not just one part or the other part. So platform just makes it easy to consume the information and make rational decisions.
Okay, so with that, does it mean that each individual investor has his own record or her own record, or is it just for the group?
The way most of the angel groups work and the platform works is the angel group kind of creates a white label solution or their own deal flow, and then provide each investor access to that deal flow. So the investors are able to see all the deals or all the startups which are coming in the pipeline, and then generally 2, 3, 4 people on the administration side would kind of manage how the deals move from one stage to another. There might be a voting system, there might be a AI-based scoring system, there might be different systems which the investor group can use, and the systems are pretty flexible, the deal flow system, to allow them to do that, to move the companies from one stage to another. So yeah, the investor has their own login. They can kind of select some of the startups they are watching, so they can set those as favorites and things like that. But overall, it's a subset of the deal flow which the angel group has. So either they see all, or maybe a subset depending on their own preference. Like if I only like to invest in AI and SaaS companies, I can probably just say, hey, show me only those kinds of deals. Don't bother me with medtech or crypto because I'm not interested. So that's how it is. So I think it's a pretty good balance in terms of customization for the investor, but still giving investor access to the broad opportunities under the umbrella of their angel group.
Hey, so I have a question. So I want to follow on that question. So I'm an investor. Obviously, I use Startup Steroid. Dave is also in part of TCA. So he uses Startup Steroid. Now, if I wanted to just find AI deals, can I put them into like a quick list, or can I put them into sort of like a wish list or a want list and just track those and follow those? Or do I have to just do it ad hoc and random? In other words, how do I manage it?
So there are a few ways, and I cannot speak for all the systems, but I can definitely speak for Startup Steroid. So there are a couple of things, like when you set up your investor profile, there is a section of investment preference. So that's where you can put, under investment preference, AI or ML or SaaS or whatever. And then when you are looking at the deal flow, you can set your filter according to your preferences. So you can just say, show me my preferred deals, and it will only show those. Or you can also create your own custom filters and save those filters. And on your dashboard, then you can have a direct link to your filter. So when you log in on the dashboard, you can click Dave's list. And when you click on Dave's list,
it's persistent.
It will be persistent, because once you have set it saying Dave's list only shows AI and ML from last month, it will always just go from today, 30 days back, show you only that list. Yeah.
Can I move from process questions to strategic questions for just a second, maybe for longer? First of all, Carta gives data reports of, for instance, how many Carta exits, how many Carta companies shut down. PitchBook does the same kind of a thing. SQS Acquium, that handles the escrows for most of us, does the same thing. What kind of data are you collecting, and will we ever have a chance to use it, to see it?
That's a great question. And ultimately, there is going to be a data play here. We are relatively new. We are a startup in our own right, in a sense that we have about close to 6,000 startups on the platform now. So as the startups increase there, we will be able to churn out a lot more data and trends and things like that in terms of how many companies came in from each of these sectors, how many companies got funded, who funded them, how much money was invested into them, things like that. So we are definitely looking at that, but it's probably another 6 to 12 months ahead for us. But as a group yourself, you can run those reports right now. Once you start investing, you can export each and every field in our database. We have it in an API as well as exportable format, so you can run any kind of your reports and analysis. But I think to get to really trends and things like that, you need some more data to make a meaningful trend out of it. So we are too early into that. But of course, I mean, I might be hyperbole saying this, but we might be PitchBook in another 5 years, because we'll have a lot more information, which will actually be much more real, because this information is being put by the founders themselves. A lot of these other platforms like PitchBook, CB Insights and all, they are actually aggregating data from wherever they can get it. A lot of times the founders are not actually going in there and updating the data. The good thing with our platform is the founder is actually creating that application, and they are motivated to keep it updated because they are seeking real money from the investors on the platform. Accuracy is going to be much higher.
Get that, David? PitchBook in 5 years. Now there's a goal.
Why not? I mean, shoot for the stars. I mean, I'm a dreamer. I feel like we can definitely do something like that and become a data provider in future. Right now, it's too early in the game.
Just stream it after you implement the features I want. I mean, I'm just going to throw that one out there again.
Of course.
But let's switch over for a second to why these deal platforms are really important for the entrepreneur. You know, clearly there's a bridge on syndication. It can help the investor, you know, with additional people to fund the rest of the round or to find additional people to work on due diligence. But how do these deal platforms help the entrepreneur, if at all? What do you see? What have you heard?
So there is definitely an advantage for the founders or entrepreneurs also when they are actually working with angel groups through a deal platform versus somebody meeting you in an event and saying, hey, here is my card, drop me an email and send me your pitch deck. Because 90% of the time that email never gets opened, half of the time it gets into the junk mail, and then that's the end of the story. Also, when you are sending a pitch deck, you are unable to convey your full story. As soon as you send the pitch deck, it's old information. What happens with the deal flow platform, once you are able to create a profile, you are able to tell your whole story and you are able to keep it updated real time. So you have just one place to keep everything updated. You don't have to have multiple versions of pitch deck. Oh, I sent him a pitch deck a month ago, let me send him again. So the data is live. Now on the platform, they can also share this profile. So once they have created it for TCA, for example, if they want to share the deal with Ty, with one click, they can share it. There is no duplication of effort. They are not recreating the, all the profiles again. So that's really a big benefit.
Do they have to share it only with people on the platform? Or let's say Dave's on a different platform. Let's say they're on Dealum. How do I share it with an angel group or Dave as an individual investor? Can I still do that?
So right now, there is no cross-platform capability, but what we have is ability for the entrepreneur to create what's called a hot link or a live link of their profile. So they can just share the live link and Dave can just go in there. It works very similar to DocuSend. I'm sure you all have used the DocuSend where people send a pitch deck, you enter your email and you can get all the information. So this works very similarly. You just put in your email address, you will have access to not only the pitch deck, but the entire profile. The good thing with this, just very similar to DocuSend, is that entrepreneur will also be able to track whether Dave actually went into the profile or not, whether he opened the pitch deck. If he opened the pitch deck, how many minutes he spent on pitch deck's page number 3 versus 5 versus 15. And then you can also real time provide a feedback saying, hey, your profile looks good, let's set up a meeting. And if you had put your Calendly link in there as well, then you can set up a meeting right away. So it helps you close the loop. So I think it's a very big advantage for entrepreneurs also, and they love it that with one application they can apply to multiple groups without really duplicating the effort.
So that's what I was going to say next, or at least ask next. Ashish, you're a member of TIE. TIE is a worldwide organization. Do you syndicate using this platform with TIE?
Definitely. I mean, one of the biggest benefits we have seen already in TIE is our check size has increased dramatically. So earlier we used to work in silos, which was like TIE SoCal is doing their own deal, TIE Silicon Valley is doing their own deal. We have TIE Atlanta. David is familiar with a few people there. Boston. These are all very active chapters, but they were all working in their own silos. Now, what happens is we are able to say, okay, once the deal reaches a certain state, which is really the due diligence or investment open state, we syndicate it with all the other groups. And we are primarily investing through a SPV. So we open a SPV, we are able to invite all the members, and our check size has now averaged probably close to about $400,000, where earlier it used to be about $100,000 to $200,000 only. Wow. And we are making a lot more deals. We are able to even get people, if it's a medtech company, sometimes we are able to get a Boston member to be a part of the DD committee, because they have more background there versus somebody from Silicon Valley for AI. So a lot more collaboration is happening. Syndication has been great, and TIE has been investing a lot more, I think, in the last couple of years once we all are on the same platform. So definitely a benefit to be on the same platform, being able to syndicate with just one click. And the beauty is, with one login now, investor is not only able to see our deals, but they are able to see other deals also. So I can just say, hey, drop down TIE Boston, show me all the deals of TIE Boston, and I can see right there, indicate my interest, communicate with them. And also with one click, I can see my entire portfolio. I might have invested in a TIE Boston sponsored SPV, but it doesn't matter. Everything shows in my portfolio in one screen for me. So I think that is really been a big factor in increasing our quantum of the investment as well as our footprint.
So what you don't know, or maybe you do, is that David Friedman has been very active in finding new chapters for TCA around the country. And so having that kind of syndication ability on this platform is more than important.
Yeah. Let me also add then, I just be very transparent. TCA Venture Group has a strategic affiliate relationship with TIE SoCal, Gulf South, New Mexico Angels, and Keiretsu SoCal. So we're using it for actually sharing a lot closer the deals among us. But I have a question going back to what Ashish was talking about with the advantages to the entrepreneur. Do you actually recruit deals to be on the platform, or is that still up to the individual angel group?
So it's both. So as an angel group, you get access to a direct application form. So for example, TCA, OC, TCA LA, they can just say, hey, if you want to work with us, just come and apply here. And there is a direct link which goes to your own white label. We also, as a platform, have a way to bring deals and then share with all the angel groups on the platform. So we are doing both. So we are also actively recruiting investors. The good thing is, the founders, the good thing is when we share the deal with any angel group, you can screen those deals and then you can choose to accept or reject those. So we just become an additional source of deal flow for you. It's not like you have to take everything, right? You can just select it. And then we are also working on a process where if you can just give us your investment preference, saying, okay, it has to have a minimum traction. It cannot be a pre-seed, or it cannot be pre-revenue, or whatever your preferences are. then we can also start doing some automation around that deal flow and saying, oh, based on this criteria this week, these are the 5 deals, or in a real-time basis, or this deal matches criteria of these 3 angel groups, boom, it goes into these 3, and
So
things like that.
Ashish, can I ask the question that everybody's asking everywhere now? It's the question of the year. What AI tools, or how are you integrating anything about AI into Startup Steroid?
That's a great question, Dave. So very recently we have launched a service for founders, for entrepreneurs, called Ready Score, which is literally taking their pitch deck, taking their profile, taking all their information, and then running it through our custom LLM model to give them back some feedback about how ready they are to get in front of the investors. So it analyzes their pitch deck, it analyzes their profile, gives them suggestions, gives them a score. So I think that is a very good use of AI as we see it for founders, because still we see a lot of founders who come, they are not prepared. They just don't have proper pitch deck. Sometimes they don't have their story straight. We make them go through a detailed questionnaire of frequently asked questions by investors. So all that based on their profile through our AI really is helping them get to the next level. And after getting them to a certain score, then we are saying, hey, we'll be able to share your profile with some of the angel groups on our platform, provided you meet a minimum 7 of our scale of 10, or whatever the criteria might be. Another thing which I think David mentioned a few times also is we are also working with angel groups on the investor side to kind of prepare an investment memo or investment readiness score. Obviously, it's a little bit similar to the Ready score, but different, because now you are putting on the lenses of the investor and looking at how investable this company is. You don't care how ready they are or not, what their pitch deck has, but you want to evaluate it a certain way. So that is something we are working on for TCA. We are doing their own custom LLM. So that will be TCA's score. But on our platform, we are giving other angel groups who don't have their custom program, will be launching early next month. Very similar concept, really, a readiness score. So they can basically what do is, when they get 100 deals per month, they have an easy way to sort through and at least make the first cut,
Right.
because nobody has time these days to go through each of those and say, okay, which 10 or 20 I should seriously consider. So that is something we are working on. There are several other things we are doing, like portfolio updates. So we are working on a program where now, once you have invested in a company, how can you get a quarterly update or a monthly update of what's happening on this company? So there is something that is being launched. Not only that, even when you are actually evaluating a company, we are going to bring a news feature with the startup. So you are looking at the startup profile, but also you are also looking at their latest news. What happened in last 24 hours or last 1 month with that startup? Because that information might not be in the pitch deck or in their profile. But when you are trying to make that ultimate decision of go or no go with the investment, I think all real-time information, if we can bring together in a more digestible format for you, it will really help the investors make a better decision.
Any thought toward customized due diligence lists, maybe using AI?
The investment memo, which we are working with, for example, with David, is kind of a step in that direction. So we are going to continue fine-tuning that model and basically give angel groups the ability to say, these are the 10 criteria I want you to evaluate on, or 7 criteria, or these are my prompts. Why don't you run my DD or my AI report based on these prompts? And then the AI will take over and run and do that report. So that is something which will probably be, I think, sometime in October, November timeframe. So right now, we are going to give our standard model, but then we will, for obviously, hopefully, additional payment, a customization option for the angel groups to kind of create their own custom prompt and run it through. AI is front and center. I mean, that's what I've been thinking all day, all night these days, because we have so much information now in the platform, so much data, how we can use all these tools which are evolving to make decision making better. Yeah.
Thank you. David, as we come toward the end, you have a magic question to ask Ashish?
Oh, I always like to ask the magic question is, very briefly, what do you see the future of these platforms And what do you want the investor and or the entrepreneur to remember about using these deal platforms?
The future, as we are talking, I mean, AI is the future, and future is now in a way, right? So that is definitely one thing, how we can use more of these tools to make the process not only easier for the investors, but also more transparent for the founders. Because I think one of the biggest complaints founders have with angel groups is, hey, we sent the application to them, we created this profile, but we haven't heard what happened, or we don't know why they made this decision. So I think if we can kind of we are talking about AI, but I think we still want to make sure we can humanize this process
Sure.
a little bit more. Then these platforms will serve their true purpose, because ultimately if we say yay or nay to a founder, it might just be one more decision for us, but it might be a life-changing decision for the founder. Out of 100 companies, we might say no to 90, but those 90 really need to know at least why they got a no and what they can do to maybe get a yes in the next round.
Yes.
So all these tools we are building ultimately are, I think, around to help the entrepreneurs. That's what the angel are for. So I think that is where we need to go by creating much more real-time communication, maybe automating some of these communication tools, so that as soon as the decision is made, maybe we have a way to summarize our meetings and give them a note saying, hey, this is why we made this decision, but come back after 6 months. Thank you for your presentation, whatever. So I feel that is what, if we can do truly, then everybody will embrace such platforms. We don't want the platform to be a check mark kind of platform where people come and tick and there is really no human interaction, and it becomes more of a bot kind of play, more robotic. It needs to bring the human empathy back into this whole equation.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a pretty good summary and a good point for us to say thank you, Ashish, for joining us. We look forward to all of these improvements, increases in Startup Steroid and the partnership that TCA has with you.
Thank you. Yeah, it has been a pleasure interacting with you, and thank you for all the help and support for Startup Steroid, and I'll see you around in the startup ecosystem here.
So, hey, Ashish, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being with us and sharing some of the benefits that the entrepreneurs as well as the investors can get out of using a good deal platform. I think it'll be beneficial long term. And for the listeners and the viewers, if you like this, please like it and share this content with others in there. And for Dave Berkus and myself, we wish you good investing and good luck.